who is the GOAT? No, not that kind of GOAT. No, when I say GOAT, I'm talking greatest of all time. Specifically, who was the greatest villain casting for a superhero movie of all time? We're gonna find out because we're counting down all the way from number 10 to number 1 to find out who is the GOAT. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Nerdzoic. To make a hero great, you need a great villain, and that's why we're doing this countdown. And FYI, before we get started, we're only looking at villains, so no good guys. If you want to see that video, it's already made, check it out. We're also not including any animated villains or anyone that just provided a voiceover, with the exception being if they also did the motion capture or contribute in some way on the screen. And last but not least, every one of these villains is inspired from the pages of a comic book, so if you're wondering why certain people are missing, this would be why. Before we get to the countdown, here are a few honorable mentions. James Spader as Ultron. Spader was the best part of Age of Ultron for me. Not only did they do the voice, but he also did all of the motion capture. A lot of people were not happy about the fact that he was changed origin-wise from the comic books, but it worked for the context of the movie. When it comes to casting the role of Ultron, Joss Whedon was very specific that Spader was the only choice. The reason for that is his hypnotic voice that can be eerily calm and compelling while also being very human and humorous at the same time. Another honorable mention, Alfred Molina as Otto Octavius. This one might get some backlash because I know a lot of people were not a fan of him in the second movie, but for me, it might just be nostalgia, but I thought he brought that character to life brilliantly. That's it for honorable mentions. You ready for the top 10? I am. I'm pumped. Let's do this. Coming in at number 10 is Jack Nicholson as the Joker in Batman. I was 6 when this came out, so I don't know any hype about the casting, but I imagine that there might have been some weird looks when they said Jack Nicholson's playing the Joker, but he does a comic Joker so freaking well. To start with, he has that Joker smile that nobody else has been able to match. And he does a bunch of other things well that call back to the comic book version of the Joker. Specifically his goofy costumes, the weird eccentricness, as well as the sense of humor. You can tell Jack Nicholson had a blast being the Joker. A recent poll showed that he was a better Joker than Heath Ledger. I don't know about that, but for the purposes of the best villains of all time, he's number 10. Coming in at number 9 is Elrond as the Red Skull. Despite being over 6,500 years old when he left Rivendell for Hollywood, Elrond made his mark on the silver screen very quickly. Elrond's just another character he played? What's his real name? Hugo Weaving, that's an awesome name. He should use that. Okay, so Hugo Weaving, not Elrond, has been in a lot of great movies over the last couple of decades. The Matrix, Lord of the Rings, obviously. He even did the voice of Megatron. But to me, his best role is as Johann Smith in Captain America: The First Avenger, or you might know him better as the Red Skull. Weaving manages to bring the villain to life and just portray menace, both in human form and in red makeup form. My only complaint is that I wish we got more of him in the MCU other than just his small role in Infinity War.
A soul for a soul.
Thanks for the offer, but I'm gonna pass and keep my soul. Coming in at number 8 is William Dafoe as the Green Goblin. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies were really hit and miss with casting. You had the great castings like Dafoe and Molina and J. Jonah, but you also had the bad misses like Kirsten Dunst and Topher Grace. Dafoe played the character to be very menacing and very comic book-like, but you felt for him as you watched his story and his fall from grace. He struck a great balance between crazy and over-the-top stupid with all of his sneering and snickering and weird lines. One other complaint that you cannot contribute to Dafoe is that the costume is awful. In the movie, the costume is made by the military. I just don't see a military scientist designing armor to look like a demon just for the hell of it. It's just not believable. I guess I'm kind of a hypocrite here though, because I'm talking about a guy who threw pumpkin bombs in the comic books. Coming in at number 7 is Tom Hardy as Bane. It pains me that he's not higher on this top 10, but it is truly a testament to some of the other people still to come on this countdown. And there's a lot of irony in that, because I was completely shocked at the casting of Tom Hardy to play Bane. It just didn't make sense to me when it happened. He's not muscular, he's short, and he's got a bunch of tattoos that Bane doesn't have. Thank goodness he was picked though, because he was the best part of the movie.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally?
That's not funny, I'm complimenting you. Stop playing with the lights. Thanks to the combination of makeup to cover the tattoos, lifts in his shoes to make him look taller, and a crap ton of crazy training to put on 30 pounds of muscle, Tom Hardy brought Bane to life. Originally, Christopher Nolan wasn't even going to have Bane in this movie, but with the passing of Heath Ledger, he needed another villain, and we got Bane. Coming in at number 6 is David Tennant as Kilgrave, the Purple Man. Tennant does not get enough credit for the villain that he played in Jessica Jones because he did it so freaking well. I'm not a Doctor Who guy, so this is my first large dose of David Tennant, but crap, he was good. He was the perfect combination of creepy, charming, and controlling, and you just couldn't wait for him to get his comeuppance. While I watched the show years ago with my wife, we both sat on the edge of our seats, waiting for someone to come in and beat the crap out of him, which is the sign of a good bad guy. Plus, he had such an annoying voice at times.
Jessica.
Coming in at number 5, Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Loki's written and then played by Hiddleston as a attention-seeking god who's willing to get said attention either by being a villain or a hero.
Your savior is here!
But let's face it, we love him most as a villain. Like Christopher Walken and his cowbell, I just can't get enough Loki in my life. Thank goodness we have a TV series of Loki coming to Disney Plus here soon. Coming in at number 4 is Danny DeVito as Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin. His physical stature and overall look make him an ideal choice to play the Penguin, but he brought an acting gravitas to the role that really took it up a level. This isn't a traditional comic book Penguin, and I think that's what makes it so good. Unlike the goofy villain he often is in the comics, this Penguin is super dark. I don't think that DeVito gets the respect he deserves because of the movie's plot. It wasn't really well received at the time, and looking back, it doesn't really make that much sense. Election fraud fits into a comic book movie about as well as a trade dispute fits into a Star Wars movie. Awkwardly. Coming in at number 3 is Heath Ledger as the Joker. You knew he was going to be on the list, the only question was where. And unlike the people who were surveyed and said that they thought Jack Nicholson did the Joker better, this is my favorite Joker by far. It does need to be pointed out though that it's pretty amazing that 2 Jokers made the top 10 villains of all time. That's both a testament to the character and the actors that portrayed him. This Joker is a very different kind of villain, and it's a different kind of Joker. He is completely insane and unhinged, and kind of like Alfred said, he just wants to watch the world burn. His motives are literally to just be a pain in the butt. He doesn't care about money, he doesn't really care about power, he just wants to watch the world burn. Coming in at number 2 is Ian McKellen as Magneto. Even though a lot of people, me included, think of McKellen as Gandalf, it's amazing how well he's able to not be typecast and transform himself into the villain that is Magneto. It could be because Magneto is such a sympathetic character. Either way, great job. In my opinion, a big part of the success he has here in this role is because of the chemistry he had with Patrick Stewart. Together, those two played off each other so well, and any scene they were in together, they just stole the movie. Plus, Magneto was a super compelling character, since him and his nemesis, Charles Xavier, both really had the same goal: mutant salvation. It was just different means to get to that goal. Coming in at number 1 is Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin Wilson Fisk. Man, this guy's come a long way from Full Metal Jacket. The acting display was insane. Wilson Fisk first appears somewhat meek, and then the rage and violence that is the Kingpin is unleashed. From a heavy kid getting bullied to becoming the bully, he truly owns this character, and I hope we see more of him in the MCU. We all know that a good villain needs a good hero to play off of, so check out this video here that I count on the top 10 castings of good guys of all time in comic book movies. Till next time, be cool and stay nerdy. Later.